Hey witches! I thought I would try to crank out one more video tonight on the 3 levels of existence. They're in hierarchy type of fashion. The first being the highest, which is the Empyrian level. That would be the level of God. The second level, the Aetherial level, which is the level of spirit. There's also deities on this level, but these deities are the type that still argue and fight with each other. This is the level of our spirit. Not the same as our soul. Our spirit still shows parts of our personality that have weakness, and still display ego. Our ego and our superego are always battling with each other. If you're familiar with Freudian theories, the last level is the material level, which is the level of our regular earthly plane material objects in our bodies. The divine level is also known as the Akashic level. The second level, the ethereal level, is the level on which the elements exist: fire, water, air, and earth. The spirits of those, the watchtowers. Many spirits exist on the second level. This is also the level on which we learn about those energies that we try to focus in yoga, like the chi and the yin, the yang. Angels exist also on the second level. On the higher end of the second level, when we do the meditations and things like yoga, we get to the beginnings of transcendence. This is where we can exhibit clairvoyance, intuition, and those types of things. In the material world, we have the non-living, the living, and the etheric substances. The etheric substances are things like electricity, magnetism, calories. This is the energy which we can't see, but it's something that can be measured scientifically. Now, in magic, we need to be familiar and have knowledge of all 3 levels. All 3 levels need to be incorporated in order to achieve successful magic. For example, when we pray, we're praying to level 1. We're appealing directly to God, Goddess, Source, and we can leave it at that. That would be just focusing on the first level. However, we can also incorporate level 2. That would mean we're also calling to angels, spirits. We can invoke and raise energy that way. That's level 2. We could also just use the first 2, angels and God, and leave it at that. However, if you really want something to be successful, you can also incorporate level 3, which would mean things on the physical level. For example, adding herbs or incense or something physical to your spell. Also using tools, things on this level. When you put all 3 of those together, you're adding to the chances that your spell or whatever you're doing is going to be successful. A lot of people will have a ritual. They'll cast a circle, and they'll raise all kinds of level 2 energy and just release it. Boom, there it goes out into the world, and hope that it'll meet its target. However, what you should be doing, or can do to make it more successful, instead of hoping it's going to reach its target, would be to raise the energy, whatever type of energy you want to raise. You can bring it into yourself. This book goes into a lot more detail. I'm not explaining it very well, but There's different breathing techniques, such as pour breathing, where you pick an element, you breathe that element into yourself, and then you do the opposite of pour breathing, and you put that into an object, and then give that object to someone, have them eat it, put it in their path. That way you're giving, just like a plug, you put a plug in the wall, and the energy goes through the plug to turn on your light. You're making a path for the energy to follow to get to its target. So back to the 3 levels of existence. If you're a slave to level 3, or if you only focus on level 3, you're being kind of a slave to physical needs. You're focusing only on physical needs and desires. If you're stuck on level 2, you would tend to have psychological or emotional type of issues, mental problems, and such. If you're only focusing on level 1, you would be the type of person who could possibly be described as lost in the clouds. People who have lost touch with the real world because they've transcended to the point where the real world no longer has any meaning for them. So you can see why it's important to kind of be aware and to have knowledge of all 3 of these levels. Now, in order to have successful magic also, you can incorporate things like words. Our words can be very powerful. Gestures, breathing, gazes. You can say a lot with just a gaze. And exercising these, practicing them, and putting them all together makes a real whole activity, a whole spell, using all of these 3 levels, as well as different things on this level: words, gestures, breathing, gazing, and all of those things. You put a lot of things together, you're going to increase the chances that something is going to be successful. And some powerful spells can be cast with just a gaze. Many women have won a man over just by, batting her eyelashes at him. So, just saying, it's a lot. Have a wonderful evening. Hope you guys are having a fun night. Blessings.